money, couponing. I'm cool with whatever you want to throw at me. Let's stick in saving money at least. And I always try to come with a topic. So tonight, my goal is to talk about saving money on back to school items. All of the back to school deals are going to start. Some have kind of already started, but most are all going to start next week. So it's a great time to have it in the back of your mind and be ready for the deals that are coming, because they're coming, whether you are ready for it or not. I know that it does not feel like back to school season, but this is just how it works. It's like Christmas, guys. We want to start months out because that's how the retailers are thinking. So we're going to start months out on back to school as well. So you just kind of get used to it and you go with the flow because they are going to constantly give you sales before you're ready for them. So we're going to talk back to school tonight, but if you have questions that are not back to school, feel free to ask any other questions that you have. I'm completely cool with that. Way off topic is school too. So if you want to go CVS, we can go CVS. But that's the goal tonight. So, I tried to get away without another light, but obviously my husband decided it was needed. Okay, so as we dive in, I will tell you I'm working on a completely different computer. I know those of you who join me every week, last week our car died, and then right after that my computer ended up in the shop. So hopefully everything's going to hold tonight and we're going to be good, but if for some reason I disappear or something goes a little haywire, just, be patient with me and I will come back. So we're going to dive right in and start going through all of these things for back to school season that we can. And I've got a long list, but again, I don't mind questions that are off topic. So please jump around wherever you want us to go. So to get started, I know that you're in summer mode and you don't really want to go there, but I do want you to sit down and make a list of what you think is needed. So in a lot of situations, school lists are not out yet. I would love for you to live in an area that your school lists are crazy good and you already know what your teacher is going to be next year, but most of us don't, or most of you don't. We homeschool, just to be open and where we are. But I remember life in the public school system and you didn't always know those things July 1st. So if you're in that boat, I'm telling you sales are going to start, but you have no clue what you need, just sit down and make a list. Think of what was needed last year. Think of possibly, what new skills are we going to learn this year? If you had a kindergartner last year, maybe they didn't need a pair of scissors. They probably are going to need a pair of scissors as they get older. You get the idea. The other thing that I would recommend as you sit down and make that list is that you go ahead and double it, if not triple it. And why I say that, I know that sounds crazy, but it's for a purpose. First, we never see back to school sales in the spring. Never. So what you get this summer is what you're going to get. You're not going to have anything else unless you're going to go in and you're just going to pay full price. And in that moment, you're going to have to if you've run out, if you didn't buy enough. So keep that in mind. I want to get enough to last the whole year. And then I said triple it because don't forget about things you need at home. You may not be homeschooling, but they are still going to come home and have homework. They're still going to come home and need things at home to help them with school that they left at school. We don't need to be carrying back and forth markers and crayons and everything like that all the time. So have a stash at home. If you have 5 girls where we are, go crazy on the art supplies. I've long learned that one, but just that it's fun. It's fun to have crayons, but to think about that when you're looking at supplies. It's not just this is exactly what the teacher asked for, but think about what you need at home too, and think about what this teacher is going to turn around and ask for in the spring, because sometimes they do, and get it all now. No pressure, I know, but it's going to save you a lot of money to do all of that thinking ahead of time. You are going to be much happier. So Kelly's saying we already have our list. That's awesome. I'm glad that some of these teachers are on top of it. Let's talk, and then Matt's throwing in another one. So Matt, you know what? I had this pulled as well, just for folks to realize that Target is offering a really great incentive for teachers. So Matt's throwing that out there too. And I will share with you guys the link to this. So if you are a teacher or know someone who is a teacher, I will stick this up and share at least the gist, but I will put this link in for you to see. If you get registered now, so if you head over, and I'm going to just put a link into the post, but if you head over to Target's website through the post, you have to register now. They will send you a coupon after you're registered. It's not going to be good for another 2 weeks, but they will send you a coupon, and then you are good to get 15% off of a whole bunch of things with that coupon. To register for this, you have to have a few credentials, which is why I would recommend that you go ahead and do it now. So they're going to walk you through how to do it, but you're going to need your teacher ID. You're going to need a few other things. So please make sure that you have gone and done this beforehand to get your coupon. And keep in mind, if you are wanting to use this feature, it is a one-time use coupon. So it's not for the whole week that teachers are going to get 15% off one purchase. So you're going to have to go big if you need a lot of stuff, just to give you that heads up. So thank you, Matt, for making sure I didn't forget that one too. So Shay says, where's the worst place to go for school supplies? I've never really thought about worst case scenario since I'm always focused on the best places. But probably worst place is going to be focusing on full price drugstores or full price grocery stores. Those would be insane prices. You're talking about, a 24 pack of crayons that's going to be like $3. Don't do that. We're going to see crayons 50 cents a piece is the going price for Crayola every year. So don't go overboard. Don't go above 50 cents for sure. But if you did go full price in the drugstores or the grocery stores, you're going to be through the roof on those prices. Now, they're going to run sales too. So I'm not at all saying don't go to the grocery store for your deals. We're going to see Publix, for example, run a number of buy one, get ones, and they're actually going to stay buy one, get one all of the most of July and half of August. They don't change. Same exact buy one, get ones every single week for back to school. So if you want those items, sometimes it really is the best price to grab, especially when we've got coupons or maybe even some store coupons on them. But that would be worst case, full price, Shay. Let's not go there. No full price for sure. And Tiffany, I like this one too. So Tiffany says, our school's website shows last year's list that we can get an idea from. So yeah, if we're trying to get this basic general list, that's all you need to get started, is look at last year's list. And another idea is, I don't know if you're able to do this on your school's website or not, Tiffany, but if you know that I have someone moving into third grade, then let's pull up last year's list for a third grade teacher, because odds are those lists are really similar from one teacher to another, and you're going to have an idea of what third grade needs or what fourth grade needs. So it may not be the list that you particularly used last year, but let's look at a list for the grade we're moving into if we have available access to lists that maybe you weren't in. I don't know how they lock those things down or whatnot. Okay, so to jump through, I see a lot of folks mentioning the things not to forget. Glue and tissues. Tissues are always on every teacher's list. Ziploc bags, hand sanitizer is a requirement in my book, and I don't even send anybody to public school. And Carrie says, my daughter's going to preschool in the fall. Any idea what preschoolers may need? Carrie, preschoolers are going to want about the same thing that the public school is. So crayons, markers, maybe a pencil. I'm not sure how much actual writing they're doing, but definitely crayons and markers, possibly blunt tip scissors, definitely tissues, definitely hand sanitizer, Ziploc bags, and glue sticks. Yeah, as Connie said, glue sticks for everybody. Glue sticks is going to be huge. And Target, Connie, is going to, in terms of what I just showed you for the Target program, they are going to want a teacher ID. That is their go-to. And so you click up here. Sorry, I'll show you where I clicked. So you're going to click up here in the yellow box to technically register, and then you're going to leave Target's website. And here is where you fill out everything that you need. You have to enter a school name. So just to warn you guys, this is where homeschoolers get kicked out. So if you're hoping as a homeschooler to get that 15% off, you can't. Target's not the store that I would really think cares a bit about homeschoolers anyway. But if I wanted to sit here and enter our homeschool name, which we have one, it is not, I can pull up a lot of other Providence Academies, but I can't pull up ours. And it won't let you just enter one. So you have to have a school name, school email address, personal email, and then it's going to jump through some other things after you hit enter. So I can't even get past the enter, but hopefully that helps you see it, Connie, as you go through that Target page. So I will stick that in the comments for you guys so that you can get here and kind of see the details too. Okay. And Shelly says she's already bought all her son's supplies, backpack, and most of her clothes. You are on it. Now, when it comes to supplies, I do recommend that we start to shop early, but honestly, we haven't seen most of the sales that we're going to see roll out yet. So to go ahead and tell you what is out, Target, Walmart, Office Depot, and Staples have all released their low price list. So what this is it's not on sale, it's their summer sale price, I guess, but it's really going to be their regular price for those items all summer long. It does not mean that it is the lowest price for those items. Target's going to run sales on those items. Target's going to run cartwheel offers on those items. We're going to see Office Depot and Staples run 25-cent items every single week. Walmart, we're not. The Walmart prices will not change. So what you see at Walmart is what you're going to get for the whole summer. So just be aware of that. Now, I'm going to share another link with you guys, and I'll pull this up too just so that we can all see it. I'll try to make it as big as I can. But I'm going to share the link to this. This is a printable by price list. I share it every year and update the prices. But I would recommend that you print this out or at least look at it, because this is the going price that you will expect to find on all of these items with the sales that we'll be running. So some of them will fit in the always low price range, but most of them are going to go cheaper than that summer long price. A few different weeks. So it's not like I need to wait for the eraser week and I have one shot at it. It's not that stressful, but we are going to see probably I would say every other week, every third week or so, they're rotating through these items. So you're going to be able to hit that a lot of things that are in the 25 cents range for a number of items, and you get an idea. So this is a long list, but it's all on one page, and hopefully that helps you as you're trying to get an idea of what those prices are that you should be looking for. So going ahead and grabbing things is fine. Just know that most of what you're going to go ahead and grab will come cheaper following the sales, or possibly just waiting for some coupons to come out. Let's see. So Robert asked a specific question kind of along those lines. Robert says, hey, Jenny, what happened to the loss leader deals from Office Depot on Southern Savers? Last year, it was guaranteed low price all season long. So Office Depot and Staples even will both say that they have the lowest prices. They both have a price match guarantee. But when it comes to the items that you're really going to want, those are the 25-cent items, they're still there, Robert. And Southern Savers, I will post them. If you're looking on Southern Savers, you will find all of that under the office supply section from the top of the site. If you click on national deals, and I'll try to show you really quick, but if you click on national deals here, and then I didn't mean to click on it, but if you hover over national stores, office supply stores will pop in right there. And that's going to have the weekly sales for Staples and Office Depot. So we are working on, actually this week, getting them typed back up on a regular basis, but there really wasn't much on sale this week in either store. So both of those ads will be there for you to start getting ready early. I usually get them up on Fridays so that you're ready for Sunday's sale. So you've got 2 days heads up before the sales start for Office Depot and for Staples each week. We will see sales on both of them. Now, speaking of what you were mentioning with that low price guarantee though, do not forget that Target, Staples, Office Depot, Best Buy, they all price match. And I know when you're talking about, like a 10-cent pen, that's not super exciting, but or across the board on a package of pens. But if you're looking at a larger ticket item, taking advantage of a price match can be a huge way to save. One example for any mama that is dealing with kids going into algebra and you need a graphing calculator, those are expensive. I mean, we got twins. Having to get 2 of those is pricey. So take advantage of those pricing guarantees. And a big one that I would recommend is Staples. So Staples runs 110% pricing guarantee. Now, we learned last year, and nowhere on their page does it really say this, but when you go to do it, it's not 110% of the full value. They fully price match, and then they give you 10% of the difference. But still, it still makes it the lowest price around. So if Target puts that TI-84 that is on your list, or the TI-89, last year I think we saw them for $85, which is about like $40 off of full price. So we saw them down to $85. We'll probably see about the same price this year. Price match it at Staples. Take advantage of that 110% guarantee. No one else has a price match that takes it that far. Everyone else's price match is just to the price that is offered in those other stores. So Staples is your go-to for larger ticket items to get the best price possible. The other way, though, I would go for most other items. So Staples and Office Depot are going to offer all those 25-cent items in their weekly ads. But by the time you get there on Sunday, they're going to be gone. And the ad just started. So instead of heading to Staples and Office Depot for 25-cent pink pearl erasers, head to Target. Target has hundreds of pink pearl erasers, and they will price match the Staples and the Office Depot ad. As long as it is a brand that they sell and a size that they sell, they will price match it. Now, I want to emphasize that because some of the 25-cent items that we're going to see are going to be Staples house brand items or Office Depot. I can't price match those. And they're smart about it. They kind of know that. But you are going to see a number of name brand items as well. So just so you have an idea, because really those super cheap items, they are gone really quickly, and they aren't in Target. So I want to take really expensive items to Staples and really cheap items over to Target. You can do this any way you want. I can show them the ad on my phone at the Target customer service, or I can bring the ad in. They're happy with it, and a lot of them actually have the ad behind the counter. They're kind of used to it. But price matching is not tricky. In Target, you're going to do it right at customer service. In Staples, you're going to do it right at the register, but it is going to require the manager coming over. Almost every time that we've done it, it's required some assistance. But we're taking the expensive stuff to Staples, so it's well worth having to wait the couple of minutes to make it happen. So it's a long answer for you, Robert, but kind of hit a couple other points that I had in there too. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. So Crystal's saying, what's the best place to buy school supplies and clothing? So to go the opposite way of Shay's question, so best place for me, Crystal, is across the board, again, to watch Staples, Office Depot, and Target as the 3 main places for school supplies. I tend to stay away from Walmart, but most of you guys already know that I tend to stay away from Walmart on a regular basis anyway. I'm not Walmart opposed. I'm more the fact that they don't have sales. The price that they have is the price that they're going to have all summer long. Really no changes at all on the Walmart side. And most of those prices we're going to beat with sales running in other stores. So, I mean, Walmart's they got to start playing the game. And so far, they've never played. So Target, Office Depot, Staples. The grocery stores are going to run some sales, and Publix's BOGOs usually are pretty good prices for most of those items too. I will say they're one of the few places that ever has master lock combination locks. They're always a BOGO every summer in Publix. We rarely see sales on them in other stores. So if your kids need combination locks, that's a go-to. Folks in Florida, you're gonna have to buy 2 of them, but all the rest of us, we can just get 1 and it's gonna be half price because your kids probably only have 1 locker. Though I guess now that I think about it, I did have a locker in PE, so maybe they're gonna need 2, I don't know. But I would head to Publix. So there are some moments the grocery stores will win, Crystal, but most of the time it's Office Depot, Staples, and Target for the main 3. Okay. And yes, Tiffany, you're right. So the lists that your stores give you are typically, not your stores, your classes, typically the same. So if you've been at this back to school season thing a few times, you're a seasoned back to school shopper, then you really already know what is on the list. It's not going to be that much of a surprise. There may be some things as your kids get older. My girls are moving into chemistry next year, so we're going to need a pair of goggles. And that's not really ever made our list before, but you can't do chemistry without eye protection. So, as they get older, the list gets a little more unique, but for those younger grades, they're pretty much all the same. And then Shelly, great question. So we can put this in back to school mode too. Can you buy other gift cards at Target with a Target gift card? So when it comes to paying for gift cards, this is going to be on a store-by-store basis, but most stores do not allow you to pay for gift cards with gift cards. And part of that is because of gift card fraud. There's a lot of gift card fraud that is out there. When people steal your credit card or your identity, more often than not, they are going to just go crazy on gift cards. So I want to say that most stores are going to tell you no, Shelly. I actually was in a Dollar General this past weekend. It's the only thing that was near my in-laws, and ran in there to get some milk. Checking out in Dollar General, they had a huge sign up that said if you want to buy gift cards, you got to pay in cash. So that just tells you how much some of these stores are really getting hit by that. But gift cards are probably the number one way that identity theft turns into purchases, because that's what they're buying with them. So probably a no. That said, I want to turn your question into another way to save those, Shelly, because when it comes to back to school supplies, don't forget about Kroger and other stores that are going to run gift card promotions. And I can use that to get Target gift cards, to get Amazon gift cards, wherever you're going to end up shopping, Staples, Office Depot. Most of your grocery stores offer these other store gift cards around town, and you're going to earn gas savings to get them. So I am always I feel like shouting from the rooftop, you should always pay with gift cards. My purse, I have 1 zipper pocket in my purse. I don't know what other people put in their zipper pockets of their purse, but mine is gift cards. There's no need to hold anything else. I have a wallet for things I actually will pay for and a huge zipper pocket filled with gift cards, because that should be how you're really approaching most stores that you're in. So please take advantage of that. One online website as well is Raise.com. I've mentioned Raise in the past, but if you watch or you sign up for their emails or all the sites that now ask for notifications, let them send you a notification. At least once every 2 weeks, Raise offers a coupon code for an additional 7 or 5% off. So the gift cards are already discounted, and then you're going to get another 5 or 7% off of those gift cards. You should do that. Grab Target gift cards, grab Best Buy gift cards, whatever it is that you're looking at getting, because it's going to be an extra bit of savings on top of what you already planned on getting. Okay, let's jump through some other things. Jenny, I see yours, any laptop or iPad deals, so I'm going to get there in just a second. We've hit a lot. I already mentioned the buy price list, and I will stick that link in the comments, or my husband will if he hasn't already. The other one to watch for, so especially as Jenny's talking about big ticket items, the laptop, the iPad, backpacks. If your kids we need shoes for cross country, and they aren't going to be cheap. I don't want injuries, but paying $100 for a really good pair of running shoes really isn't in the budget either. So if you have some of those big ticket items, you need to go ahead now and find when the tax-free weekend is for your state. And I'll show you. I don't have a link for this because I didn't plan very well, guys. But I have this scheduled to go up on Southern Savers, so I should have just pushed it live, but I didn't. But this will go up on Southern Savers very soon. But the 2019 back to school dates, what I will tell you, if you find the 2018 list, they're all the same. Just push them back a day. since we're a day behind last year's calendar. Alabama is always first every single year. They beat everybody else. Let me make this really big for you guys. Make it as, there we go. So maybe you can read it if you're on your phone. Alabama is always first, and when we're talking tax-free, each state has their own things that they allow or they don't allow, so make sure you know your state's policies. But this can be a significant savings depending on where you are and depending on what your tax rate is. So like folks in Tennessee, I think anytime we've traveled, Tennessee has always blown my mind how expensive the sales tax is in that area. So taking advantage of sales tax weekend can really pay off. I don't know that I would really wait to get your 25-cent items for this weekend. It's really your big ticket items. Another tip here, because Georgia folks, North Carolina folks, there's no tax-free weekend for some states. So if you don't have one in your area, you're going to notice most of these dates, by the way, are in August. Alabama's is the earliest, and Alabama's is coming up in 2 weeks. Everybody else is after Alabama. So no pressure yet. You've got a few weeks until it's going to be time for yours. But a tip, if you're in Georgia, if you're in North Carolina, or you're in a state that's boring, no offense to Arkansas, but they're kind of boring. You get tax-free on $100 or less clothing items, but really nothing else. If you're needing a new computer and you have family members that live in South Carolina or live in another state, you can always have that computer shipped to them. The tax is going to be based on the shipping location on most websites. So keep that in mind. It's based on where it's shipping. Send it to a family member. If you're going to go visit them at the, in another week or so, they can claim it and they're going to get it tax-free, or you can plan a trip to visit them just to get it tax-free if that's the case. So I mentioned South Carolina specifically because South Carolina and Louisiana, we have two of the best programs, but South Carolina has no limit. So computers, school supplies, bed and bath linens. I mean, we go crazy here. And Louisiana's is literally $2,500 on any personal property. Massachusetts is the same way. So those are three of the biggest states for tax-free weekends because it's going to be anything that you purchase, especially Louisiana and Massachusetts. We're not even talking school supplies here. It's just the first $2,500 of anything that you grab is going to be tax-free. That's pretty good. So if you live on the border between Louisiana and Mississippi or wherever you are, I'd be traveling. If you needed something else that was expensive, it's definitely worth it. So along those lines, to jump into iPads and laptops, we're almost there. I would not recommend going this week for one, though Staples and Office Depot would totally want you to think that. If you look at their weekly ads, they always have a ton of laptops in there, but they're pushing July 4th hard. The sales that we see will always be better once back to school season starts. So for laptops, I would really almost give it 2 to 3 more weeks, let it kind of heat up a little bit. Those sales are some of the best sales that we see all year long, and they actually beat Black Friday. So this is a great time to get a laptop. You are very, very close. If you waited this long, you can wait 2 or 3 more weeks and then go ahead and get the laptop that you've been wanting. I would try to time it with tax-free weekend if you can, but if what you're wanting, you don't see it, then hold off. With laptops, I mention this every year when we talk about it, but I do recommend that you do a little bit of research as to what you're looking for. Most PCs, you're going to be picking between an i3, an i5, or an i7. That's what the Intel chip is that's in those computers. And most average people on a computer would be happy with an i5. Most of us do not need an i7. So doing some research as to what you're going to use the computer for before you decide what you're going to jump in and try to purchase. An i7 would be really for like a gaming laptop or a laptop that's going to be processing video. If you're going into a graphic design degree, then maybe yes. But the rest of us, if you're planning on web surfing and writing papers and pulling up the calculator to help you with math, an i5 is going to be plenty good. You don't need to go super, super big on a laptop. I think every year I want to rope my husband into like what his tips would be though on buying, because he's the computer engineer around here. But that's just my advice and advice from listening to him too. In terms of iPads too, We will see some sales on iPads. iPads, I would almost wait if I could towards the end of August, maybe the beginning of August if you want to go a little early. The reason for that, every September, the very beginning of September, is when Apple announces all their new products. And those new products hit the shelves usually 2 weeks after that announcement. Well, when the new iPads hit the shelves, the old iPad is not really wanted very much anymore. So if I can hold out till closer to that announcement, I'm going to usually get a better price. It's an older model. It's really this year's model. It's not a big deal. It's kind of like buying a car and getting the 2019 in September because the 2020s are hitting the lot. That's basically what you're trying to do here. Just get the best price that you can on an iPad. Honestly though, I'm an Apple girl, but I am going to tell you, you are going to save a lot more money to not get an iPad and instead to get a Samsung tablet or even another no-name Android tablet, a Fire. There's a lot of options out there, and Fire really runs on a different system completely, but it can still do pretty much anything that you're wanting with a tablet. Just research those, because Samsung tablet versus an iPad, talking about almost a $200 difference for the same thing. So I'm an Apple girl, but I would still point you off Apple for a tablet, and definitely if you're going to hand this to a kid, because you don't need anything else. It's just going to make you be like, you just did what? Yeah, so give them something cheaper. Don't give them a $300 iPad, please. It will make everybody happy. Shay Shay says, where can I get a durable book bag for a child? So let's go book bag here. With book bags, I would point you immediately to LL Bean or some of the other similar sites that are around that type of just quality, what we would expect. LL Bean backpacks, first off, have a lifetime guarantee, so your kids can destroy them if you wanted, and you can get a new one. We do see some sales on them. They actually have a few that have been on sale this weekend, and the sales are still running, so I would check LL Bean now if you wanted, but we'll still see some more sales throughout the summer as well. But they're the number one. Everyone would say, in terms of quality, number one. But some of the other brands are still great to grab and still have great guarantees and warranties behind them too. So JanSport, who's been around since we were in high school, still offers the same guarantee and warranties with their bags, and still a lot of options there. In terms of getting a good bag at the best price, I would watch both Staples and Office Depot towards the end of the summer. So a backpack, you can definitely get some deals now. Pottery Barn's been running some really cute bags that are 60% off and free shipping. But in terms of getting a durable backpack at the best price, both Office Depot and Staples, when mid-August rolls around, really even like the first week in August, they're going to decide that they aren't going to sell anymore. And we're going to see 50% off all backpacks. We're going to see Office Depot throw in rewards on top of that. We saw last year both Office Depot and Staples basically turned out to make these backpacks like $10 or less, plus throwing in rewards on the Office Depot side, made for free backpacks. Sometimes your options are limited based on what's left in that store. So, if you have your heart set on something very particular, this isn't going to be for you. But if you're looking, they're still great backpacks. Most of them are laptop backpacks and some big names. So JanSports and Swiss Gears. It's a great sale to watch for every single year. If you're wanting really cheap backpacks, which I know seems strange, but or maybe I should say inexpensive, then I would watch actually for clearance deals that are going to run, of all places, in the drugstores. So we grabbed some backpacks last year at Walgreens and paid less than $1 for backpacks in Walgreens. They were to donate, but if that's what you're looking for, is just to get some backpacks in for the programs that are out there, just trying to get a ton of backpacks for kids that have nothing, you can stretch your dollars a lot further at $1 a backpack. So watch for those clearance deals. And those usually roll around towards the end of August. So school possibly will have already started back for you. But those organizations are still going to be wanting school supplies into, well, some of them for the rest of the school year, but definitely into September in most areas. So you can still get a great deal and still be able to donate. Okay, And Kelly saying again, and I probably already answered it a while ago, Kelly, but the TI-83, the TI-84, last year best price was $85. So watching to see if you can hit about that price this year. There haven't been any magical changes in it, so I don't expect a massive increase in price. And that was actually the sale price. That was not with a price match. You could get it lower with the Staples price match. But that's what I would watch for. Another one, though, honestly, on that tip is look at used. Hop on Facebook and ask, does anyone have any kids that aren't needing these anymore that I could buy your TI-83 or your TI-84 used? Our kids, so we have twins, and they're both in way high up math at this point. We have one that is a new TI-85. The other one is using, I think, my husband's TI-84 from when he was in school. I still have my TI-89 from when I was in school. They last forever. So, nothing's changed. The buttons are still the same between, I'm not even going to say how old my TI-89 is, but you can definitely find them used. So look on Facebook Marketplace, look on Craigslist, and just ask your friends. It will be significantly cheaper over buying it brand new. And again, no changes whatsoever in terms of the buttons, in terms of the functionality. There's one change, to be honest with you, on the TIAs, all the TI calculators that are graphing, is that they are now rechargeable, and that was within the last 3 or 4 years. So 3 or 4 years before that, we're all putting in our batteries into our calculators. My mouse is sad, but you get the point. So that's the only difference. Rechargeable versus taking your Duracell batteries. That's just part of high school. Got to remember your batteries, got to remember your calculator. Let's see. So Amazon, Crystal says Amazon has a great deal on a graphic calculator every year. She got one last year for $64. So yes, you could also go that route. And then that deal on Amazon does tend to sell out quickly. So just watch for it and be very ready. Or hopefully catch it is really the other one. And then Diane's asking, do I know when my printer will be on sale? So Diane, there was a really great deal on it last week. I don't know that we're going to see it on sale this week. It's usually, we see it like every third week, but we saw it for $79, a printer scanner last week. That was a Brother printer. And I feel like every time I do that, I try as hard as I can to shout it from the rooftop so that nobody misses it. But if you want to send me an email, Diane, so Jenny@SouthernSavers.com, I will try to keep it in my inbox and just try to make sure that I can let you know when I see it pop back in. But usually during back to school season, we see them on sale I'd say every 3 weeks. And last week was the really big sale so far. So about 2 weeks and you'll be good. So let's jump through a few more things. I'm seeing a lot of folks ask on specifically things, InkJoy pens and planners. InkJoy pens, we saw a lot of rebates last year for. I hope that we see those as well this year. That was grabbing them in Staples and Office Depot and getting $5 and $10 mail-in rebates back for InkJoy and for Zebra pens. I would love for those brands to give us those mail-in rebates back again this year. I suspect that those mail-in rebates will switch to the new online version as well, so it's going to be even easier, but watch for those, and that is going to definitely be your best deal on them. We will see sales on them as well, but not anything that's going to pair in with those $5 and $10 rebates. Okay, so Nadine has a great question that's a big kid back to school. Where do I recommend to buy items for a college dorm room? The university that your son's going to attend in the fall has packages that you can purchase ranging from $150 to $250. So what I would do first off, Nadine, is make a list of what he needs and look at what's in those packages. A lot of times what's in those packages are not all things that he needs, and definitely things that you can get inexpensive. I don't know in terms of your son and what his style is, but I will tell you the first place that I would head, hands down, is Goodwill. Because most kids, I mean, even for me, they don't care that the 2 towels that they're taking to college match. So let's just find them some towels. You can also find some crazy good deals through Kohl's, through Amazon Basics. I wouldn't aim to pay more than like $2.50 to $3 for a bath towel. I also wouldn't try to put a lot of money behind anything else that you send them with. The sheets on their bed are the one thing that will probably come home with them, and everything else their freshman year, they probably won't come home with. And you just need to be okay with that. So don't put a ton of money behind what's going to school with them. This is different advice if you're sending girls off to school, because girls really do care what it all looks like and that it all matches. So let's give them a really great bedspread, but let's not bother with everything else below that. I would be watching, Nadine, for any dorm room essentials. I would be watching Target for clearance deals. Target's running like 30 and 40% off of some furniture right now online. I would also be watching Kohl's. Kohl's is going to be a go-to for towels, washcloths, all of those items that are super cheap. And JCPenney's has also been throwing in some pretty good online deals here lately, especially for towels. They had a 6-pack set of towels for $8 this weekend. And they probably still have it running as well since it's only Monday night. They all love to extend whatever sales they had over on the weekend one more day, so you could head and watch. But we'll also see them run it again later in the year. So I would look at that list. The one thing that you will see on some college dorm room lists that to me was in my dorm room, so this is really confusing, but I guess this is how time has changed, is a refrigerator. And if you are needing to purchase a refrigerator for your kid's dorm room, I would highly recommend that you look at finding one of those used, because at the end of the year, every kid's getting rid of one. So you probably could still find some that are hanging around and are used that we could just stick right back in another dorm room. And even for other items, larger furniture items, I would still look at used too. There's going to be a lot. And the end of the year is usually a great time for kids to pick up things for next year. So you possibly could still be finding them on Facebook Marketplace and other places if you start hunting too. Okay. I want to jump through a few other things. You guys are keeping me hopping, and I haven't even made it, scrolled through all the comments yet. Let's see. Oh, and my husband was helping me, and it didn't even pop up either. Sorry, guys, I'm on a different computer. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything big across the board. Oh, and Leona, great question. So she's saying the 15% off that I mentioned earlier for teachers at Target, is that 15% plus the 5% on Target Red Card? Yes. So when it comes to Target, any coupon that we use in Target never trumps your Target Red Card, which is pretty sweet. It doesn't matter what you end up pulling out of thin air Target coupon-wise, you will always get your 5% with your Target Red Card. So you should take full advantage of that. If you are a teacher and you don't have a Target Red Card, you should get one before the 13th so that you can pair those together. Keep in mind, math-wise, teachers, you should know this, but it isn't 20%. Math-wise, I think it's going to come out to like 17.8 or 18% when you put them all together, because you're going to get 15% off, and then you're going to get 5% off of what's left. And that's just how, when we stack coupons like that together, that's how it tends to work. So Robert says, let's not forget Dollar Tree. That they sell name brand school supplies, and they also have a lot of the Jot brand, but they're all for $1. So you just need to grab them ASAP, he says, because they're already there. And Diana's asking about cell phone deals and that might be out there. So if you've got older kids and you're wanting to send them to school with a cell phone this year, I would probably still point you in the Android direction versus an iPhone direction. You're going to get some really inexpensive Androids when you start to hunt around and look at just even off brands for them. And you're going to be much happier when it gets lost or stolen that it wasn't a $700 iPhone. So I would always point you in that direction. Samsung comes out with all of their new phones every April. So you've already hit that point. You could go ahead and just start grabbing a model that's maybe a year or 2 years older, and you're going to get a really good deal on it. That's the route that I would go. I will tell you that we have 14-year-olds. We do homeschool, but our girls don't have a phone, and I'm okay with that. I don't think that they need one. I will hand them one when they start to drive, but even then, I don't think it's going to have social media on it ever. That would be my goal, but I know that won't work. And we all parent differently, but that's us. So cell phone to me is not a required purchase. In my boat, we would come up with some other way to keep in contact with them. I saw someone asking recently, and I can't even remember the name of it, a watch that they can text with. that actually has its own plan. It's through Verizon, and if I hadn't tried to think of it, I probably would be able to, but I might even go with that before I went with a phone. Okay, and when is the tax-free weekend for South Carolina, Crystal? It is August 2nd. So that is when most states have their tax-free weekend, is August 2nd. It's a big weekend for that. Okay, to jump ahead and kind of fast forward a ton on questions, and also to get to some other things. So we've hit tax-free, we've hit price matching. I do want to mention one thing. We've talked Target a lot in the past, but a little intervention here. If any of you guys are going to Target and you're not using Target Cartwheel, when it comes to back to school, you need to use Target Cartwheel. So Target, I'm going to make this as big as I can for you. So Target Cartwheel is a whole bunch of sales that are running on all sorts of things around the store. And what I would recommend, and I already clicked on the wrong one, is when you come in, click on categories, give them another week. They're not ready for you yet, but one of the categories is going to be school supplies. Right now it's there, you just need to know how to find it. So I can click on home. Oh, it is not temporarily lost. Click on, I logged in a while ago, so I'm going to guess it probably decided I didn't need to still be in. But if you click on home, then you can click on office supply. Let me just try this. There we go. So school and office is one of the categories. But already we've got Cartwheel offers for 20% off Papermate, 10% off Elmer's glitter glue. I don't know if that's a school requirement, but it's still fun. Pentel, Post-it, Extremes, but this is only going to grow. So wait until after July 4th. For Target, we're going to see them release a lot of back to school in the next couple of weeks until this whole school section's upwards of 30 plus different offers inside Target Cartwheel. So if you're going to Target, please use Target Cartwheel. I'm showing you it on the website, so you can use it from online. It is cartwheel.target.com. But really, the easier way is to use it straight from your phone. So download the Target app and just grab those cartwheels, scan the barcodes in the store, and use those cartwheels when you're checking out. It's sales. I can even pair those with manufacturer's coupons. We will see manufacturer's coupons for a number of these brands: Papermate, Bic, Expo, Elmer's glue. Those were the big ones. Sharpie that we all saw last year, and typically we'll see them again this year. So watch for those if any of those are on your list. Because that is a great extra savings on top of the Cartwheel and everything else that you have. Jessica's chiming in on the watch that AT&T does also have a watch that's pre-programmed with 4 numbers. So they can, yeah, that's all they need. Okay, and Shay Shay saying, how do we use Target Cartwheel? So Shay Shay, just a really quick intro if you've not ever used Cartwheel before. Again, I'm at cartwheel.target.com is the website, but you can load any of these. So I can click the add button. Oh, I was signed in. Come on, Target, be nice to us. Sign us back in. I can click the add button, and this now is loaded to my Cartwheel account with Target. At the register, if you're using your phone, you're just going to pull up the wallet section on your phone and have them scan it. But you can also print your barcode on the computer. And that barcode never changes. It's your barcode. So you can go either way. If you don't want to use your smartphone or you don't have a smartphone, I can just print that barcode and just use it right there in the store. I'm going to get any percentages off that I want. And there's a lot here. So just to show you the gist of how this works, 50% off of various items. All I have to do is load these offers and you're going to have it. To give you an example too, guys, so this totally isn't back to school, but an example of a deal is this week, Target has an in-ad coupon and an in-app coupon for a $5 Target gift card when you buy $15 worth of beverages before coupons. So you can load this 25% off all Pepsi, grab Pepsi's, get your gift card, then get 25% off all of them. So it's pretty sweet. Cartwheel is a whole extra set of sales, hundreds of extra set of sales, Shay, that you should definitely be using every time you go to the store. So you're not allowed to go back to Target without it. Let's just put it that way. Now that you know, if you try to go in, one of us will find you and make sure that you just stop. No buying without Cartwheel. Okay. Diana's confessing the cell phones for me. I'm not trying to jump on anybody. Sorry, guys. I'm just saying I don't know that in our book that it would be a requirement. Chandra's saying that she hates Cartwheel since they merged into the when they did merge the Target app and the Cartwheel app, it made it a little bit more tricky. But they still have the barcode search, and that's the number one way that I find things in the store. Just keeping the app up and scanning the barcode of everything in the cart and loading the offers makes it super easy to use. So if you haven't, that's the way I would go if you're trying to figure out how to use it. Okay, and thanks, Lynn. So Lynn's chiming in on phones too, guys, and I agree. So if you're looking for cell phone deals that are cheap for kids, if we're back in the kids category on this one, going with the prepaid phones that Kroger has, some of the best offers there. Walmart's prepaid phones. You're still going to get some phones that are semi-smartphones even, but super, super cheap prices. And the prepaid version of them, really inexpensive overall cost. So thanks for throwing that in, Lynn. I want to talk about one thing. We talked about backpacks and quality, but I do think when we're, some of us, we get into the mode of trying to save money, so much so that we are cool with the 10-cent items and the $1 backpacks. And the $1 backpacks are great as donation items and for someone who has no backpack. But if your goal is to make that backpack last for multiple years, a $1 backpack's not going to last multiple years. So trying to go quality is the best thing that you can do for long-term use. There are a few things that I would always recommend quality for. Backpacks is one. Lunchbox, if your kid's old enough to not lose it anymore. And binders. So when it comes down to binders, paying for good binders, I highly recommend. There are even some binders that have guarantees on them as well as lifetime guarantees, depending on the brands that you're grabbing. So I grabbed this one out of my kid's drawer. It is actually 3 years old. It's an Everbind from, I want to say it's from Office Depot. But it has a lifetime warranty, but it's a pretty intense and incredibly durable binder. So it's not always the cheapest. We will see them go on sale, but it is definitely not the little poly binder that is going to fall apart or no longer close. I mean, you remember what happened to your binders when you were in school. The same thing's going to happen to them. So we've gotten a few years out of this one, and this is a kid who was lugging it back and forth to co-op days in a backpack. So it did get some wear and tear that folks in the public school would also have on binders. So that would be my my big three is a backpack, a lunchbox, and binders. It is well worth paying a little bit extra to get ones that are going to last at least the school year, but our goal is multiple years. So always going that route. Deborah says it's her first year of back to school. I feel you, Deborah. We are 1 year away from our last kid's first year of back to school. So this time next year, I think I'm going to be hitting the other side of that when all of a sudden there's no more first back to schools. It's just a sad day. Let's see. So Robert is another tip here has found that Target is the best for clearance sales, and I agree. School supplies, when they go 50 to 70 to 90% off, always in late August and early September. Robert, I'm right there with you. So I have my Target find. We actually still have some in the garage. But last year in Target, we grabbed these guys. These on sale in Target, we're going to see them as low as 17 cents a piece. That's where they hit last year. Fully think that we'll see it again. For a while, you'll see them around 25 cents, but you'll see them lower. The end of the school year, though, when these were on clearance, we grabbed an entire case of them. That's a lot. There were 100 in the case for 5 cents a piece. And I did that on purpose. We always gather things to go in Operation Christmas Child boxes. We didn't even pack 100 OCC boxes, so we have some left for this coming year. But 5 cents a piece, I couldn't leave them there. we'll do that. It was 100 of these for $5. Yes, sold. So always watching those Target clearance sales. That clearance sale for Target always starts, it's really more late August, because you've got to think, and I mentioned this just a second ago or just a few weeks ago, sorry, with patio deals. You always have to think about that back corner of Target and what's coming in next. So Target's ready to bring in Halloween, and they want to bring in Halloween ASAP. So they want back to school to get out so that Halloween can come in. And you're thinking, but school just started. That's where they are. So you want to start watching really the last week in August, and then by the time the first week in September rolls around, we're at the 70 and the 90% mark. Okay, and then a question that's off topic, but is a great deal, and it was on, I just saw it, was the Sam's Club. So Robin's asking the Sam's Club, I just got this post up earlier today. If you have a Sam's Club membership, if you don't, there's a Groupon deal for that, but if you do have a Sam's Club membership, they are offering, let me see if I can just pull up the post too to help you find it, but they're offering $15 off of any $50 grocery purchase through tomorrow. Sorry, and I'll make your question go away so I can share the screen. But the way that it works is you buy $50 worth of participating items. So I took a screenshot of what our $50 worth of participating items were, and then some. It's a lot of things that you regularly purchase. So this is totally not school supplies, but it's a really good deal, because when was the last time you had a coupon for butter and milk and meat and fruit? It just doesn't happen. So the prices are already pretty good. The butter was $3 a pound. That's the sale price in the grocery store. So grab $50 worth of groceries. And you were asking about a coupon. It's not a coupon. It's really a participating page. So the only way I can get you there, honestly, is if you'll just go through this post. And I'll stick this post in the comments for you here, or have my husband do it, because whenever I try to do it, it doesn't ever work. But if you go through this post and you click through the participating items link, it's going to take you to a special page that will say you're going to get $15 off of your $50 purchase, and it's everything that's pulled up. So it's hamburger, strawberries, hot dogs, string cheese. It's a good mix and random away. I don't know that I'd go for the name brand items that you normally have coupons for, but I would totally go for fruit and meat and milk and cheese and all the other things that are included there. So it's a long good list. And since we're here, go for this meat right there. It doesn't look like hamburger meat, but it's the same exact meat. It's a 90% lean as this one that was way up here at the top. And it's technically cheaper. So go for that. It's in a 10-pound chub, and grab that, get some extra, and get it at a cheaper price. Little tip if you're going to do the Sam's deal. Deal ends tomorrow, so you need to order it. It's for in-club pickup, but you gotta order by tomorrow if you want to take advantage of it. Okay, and I do think you should. It is a good deal for Sam's Club. Okay, sorry guys, trying to catch up on questions. So, a few other tips that I wanted to give for folks who might be homeschooling, or you just want to make some things last. So if you are in a boat, and I guess this also could be for college kids too, if you're in a boat and you're needing textbooks, curriculum of some sorts, I always recommend that you go used over new for almost everything that is out there. The only exception being if you are similar to our family and you have a large family, and it is a curriculum that you love, I would recommend that you buy new. And as an example, we have 5 kids. My husband was actually homeschooled, so he already knew that he loved Saxon Math. That's what he had always used, so that is what we use. And with Saxon Math, we've always bought the new textbook because we've got 4 more people who are going to come down needing that textbook, and we need it to last. So if you're in that boat, buy new, but if you're not in that boat, always buy used. Even Amazon offers used textbooks. There is the option to rent textbooks now. I don't know that it's going to come out to be a better deal for you over the buying used and then reselling at the college level. There are some people that would go both ways. The tricky part with renting is whether or not you're able to make any marks in it. Some people just learn better by being able to highlight, and you're not going to be able to do that in a rented textbook. The other option is going digital. So if you do go fully digital with your curriculum, I would do a little research on that. There's been a lot of studies that have come out recently talking about how our brains work when it comes to reading curriculum and learning, and that paper textbooks actually work better for us to learn things. So do that homework first. But if you want to go digital, there are some deals to be able to do that. And you can rent textbooks then, and then no longer own them at the end of the year. So you only pay for a 1-year license. And it is cheaper than buying the actual paper version that you're going to forever own or have to resell. So that's one option. The other tip that I would give any homeschooling parent or parent that wants things to last longer is that you should get a laminator. And it may not be on your back to school list. We will see really good deals on laminators in the $20 range, usually on Amazon, for I think ours is a Scotch is the brand, but they're one of the cheaper ones that are out there. Works great, and laminate everything because it is going to last much longer when you do that. We've also used it to make our kids, we got a binder too. I don't know that you need to go that route, but we did, instead of paying for journals that went with some of our curriculum, we just made our own journals. So you could do that same thing, not having to bind it, but just making your own little packets of your own creation. It wasn't that we printed anybody's, we just made our own version of things to save a lot of money on that route. But I am a big proponent of the laminator, and will probably be the first to pull it out sometimes for random projects just because it's fun to laminate, but it can definitely be something that can help in the schoolroom if you're trying to cut down on long-term costs. If you've already put all this money into flashcards or other items, make them last, and that's going to do it. Okay. Let's see, college kids. So Jillian's saying they could also borrow from the school library. She said, I rarely bought a book in the end. So you could go that route too if you could find them in the school library to just check them out and use them when you needed them. And then planners, Karen's asking, will they be 50% off again? So yes, we will see great planners. The best time of year to buy a planner is actually not during back to school season. It's at the beginning of the year. We will see some great sales, and Michaels does tend to run 50% off of their kind of create your own planners. So watch for that one. We'll also see if you want a super fancy one, Erin Condren will run sales for 30%, usually is as high as they go for their fancy planners. I would also wait, depending on the school that you're in. Some schools actually, for high school, have a planner that they require kids to get that is that high school's planner. So if you are a rising 9th grader, just make sure that's not on the horizon before you buy something else. Because you already got a Beaver one and it isn't a deal, you might as well wait if that's the case. Let's see. Robert says, have I ever found deals at CVS for school supplies? So Robert, yes, they will run some, but not many. We will see usually in August. The drugstores don't start in July. They're much later on this one, but we will see pens, pencils, even highlighters that they're going to run where you buy this for $3.99 and you get $2 back in rewards. So if you're already using Extra Care Bucks, this becomes $1.99. There are some deals that are going to come out to be free. CVS has had better years than some on that one, and last year was not a huge year for free items in CVS, but we have seen it. So will it happen this year? I don't know. But we're probably talking about like 2 to 3 items at a time. There would be very little that they would put in their ad that would be free, and you could watch for those. If you're already in there and you're already buying other Extra Care Buck deals, then I would totally add those in too. I don't know that I would make a special trip just for 1 pack of free pens, but you get the idea if you're already in there. Okay. Oh, and Cindy is chiming in and saying L.L. Bean does not offer the same fully unlimited lifetime warranty on backpacks anymore. Their quality is still high, but the warranty is not like it's been historically. So I guess if you're wanting an L Bean backpack, read the warranty before you sign up. It's not what it used to be. That's good to know. Thanks for sharing that, Cindy. Oh, and one other tip, I'm kind of making sure I didn't miss anything on my list today. One other big tip that I had for any parents on this one, I told you I wanted you to make a list of what you needed to buy twice, if not 3 times the amount of what that list told you to buy, because you're not going to see sales in the spring. And if you're homeschooling or if your kids are coming home and doing homework, you're going to need extra things at home. They're going to leave supplies at school. You're going to need stuff for them to do homework at home with. So extras there too. But I would still recommend all those extras you grabbed, the spring, even some for home, that you hide them. This is kind of like snacks. If you leave it out, they will eat it. If you leave out a bunch of crayons, they will open a new pack every week. So find a spot and put them away. Lock them up if you have to, but hide them because you will not have them in the spring if you don't. So just, a tip from a mama who has learned the hard way on that one. And that's the hard way on snacks too. You got to not give them access to everything or they eat it. They eat it right away. And Noelle asked, does Publix still do school supplies for BOGO? To my knowledge, Noelle, they have for the last 10 years. I do not expect any changes whatsoever from them. They will not start their sales for another probably 2 weekly ads. So they will not be, definitely not this current ad that starts on Wednesday. They aren't in that. And probably not even the next one. Watch for them to be 2 Wednesdays from now, and we'll start to see all of those BOGO back to school deals. And with and then Anne's asking, will Ibotta have coupons for school supplies? Yes. So we'll see pens, we'll see glue in Ibotta, and then we'll see some no-name brands that they also run. So any pens, any crayons. We won't see Ibottas for some of the cheap items, but they will be for some of the high-end if you're wanting specific brands. That's what we've seen in the past. So I would watch for those, definitely. Jessica, I love it. I have a magical light in my pantry that a lot of people want, but I have to say, Jessica, that I am a little envious. She says that her pantry has a keyed lock. I could use that about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, we are just shutting this down and nobody's going in. And then I could actually use for someone to take the key away from me too, because 3 o'clock in the afternoon is a really hard time for all of us. Okay, so I think that we're all set, and my husband's now making fun of me in the comments. If you have an only child, make them use their crayons. I was the kid who refused to use my crayons because you might use them up, and then you might not get any more. So yeah, just make your only children use all their crayons and get them more. Okay, so I think I've hit everything that I had for you guys. To recap, and then I'll hop off and let you all go, but you do want to buy enough for the whole year. Very, very minimal. Robert's saying he sees some in the spring, but we're talking incredibly minimal spring back to school sales. There are no deals on scissors. There are no 25-cent crayons. This is your time. And on that note, I mentioned Operation Christmas Child for these 5-cent books that we grabbed, but don't forget about Operation Christmas Child boxes now too. So if you pack those or you donate items, this is a huge time to grab donation items, super cheap for folks. Everybody needs school supplies, and 25-cent crayons, you are not going to beat it. So even if you have, I can't imagine you watch school supplies with me all night long if you don't have kids, but even if we're talking like the church nursery or Sunday school classrooms, getting things that people need, this is the time of year to grab them when all these sales start next week. So to emphasize that too, not this week. We've got a lot of summer long prices this week, but the sales are actually going to start next week. So I wanted to give us the heads up on that. And then one other thing that I wanted to hit on that is not back to school before I let you go is as soon as next Monday comes and we're on a Q&A, the first question I'm going to get is, when is a good time to buy a huge item? It is this week, guys. So if you have appliances on your list, furniture on your list, large ticket items, it is on a July 4th 3-day weekend. The next 3-day weekend is not until Labor Day. So if there is something big ticket item that you want, please start to shop around and grab it this weekend. Lowe's and Home Depot have already started their July 4th sales for appliances, as have Sears. So go ahead and price match across the board on those, but please don't miss your chance. So since we didn't talk 3-day weekend deals, I just wanted to throw that one out there before next Monday and you've missed it. So you hopefully can grab all of those if you need to. Okay, thanks for joining me tonight. I hope we answered everyone's questions and you learned some tips for save on back to school. I will make sure all the links get posted as well if they didn't. And for YouTube folks, I will put the links below the video after the fact since the chat never hangs around on YouTube. So thanks again for joining me, and I will talk to you guys again next Monday night, same time, same place. Y'all have a great week.